something about the Doobie Brothers, I think you had said on that.
Yeah, John Cowan visited us, if I remember correctly, it was last summer. And he's a member of the Doobie Brothers. He also has a bluegrass band.
Okay.
And he visited with us here, and he made the statement while he was here. He said, performing in this studio, he said, as far as he's concerned, it's no different than standing on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
And a lot of the name bands that have visited us here, they say it's they can just feel the spirit.
Sure. Talking about bluegrass in general, we kind of touched on it offline. The amount and amazing growth internationally.
Oh yes.
You had kind of an interesting story to tell about one of the groups that had.
About 3 years ago, we had a group visit us here from Sweden.
ABBA.
And the group was called G2.
Oh,
They
okay.
were young, this is kind of bluegrass musicians you've ever heard. And they were young guys, and they were touring the country. And what amazed me is when they came here, they were so in awe. They didn't know anything about the radio station. They were just told to come here to perform. And when they got here, they were just in awe of the history
Right.
of this radio station, the studio. And they knew the whole history about bluegrass. And I asked them, I didn't realize at that time that bluegrass was as big as it is.
Sure.
I knew it was big in Europe. But I asked him, I said, well, how did you guys learn about the history and about bluegrass music? And one of the guys said, well, I learned everything I know from my grandfather.
Right. Right.
And so that made me real, wow, bluegrass has been huge.
Well, I think it's
all over the
also
world for a long time.
another reason that it really is the amount of instrumentation that you can hear, because with country and with rock, which has gone more pop, and it's more the whole pie, as opposed to really listening and to be able to pick out the individual.
I grew up as
things
part
that
of
go on.
the classic country world. I did a little drumming myself for about 50 years.
Right.
But and I got into bluegrass in 2007. And I'd always admired bluegrass from a distance, but I never had the opportunity to be around it that much. And it didn't take me long, once I got around the bluegrass music, it didn't take me long to realize that some of the finest musicians in the world are bluegrass pickers.
Right.
And the tight harmonies and the stories that the songs tell, and it's just, to me, it's the purest music, the purest form of country music, and the best form, in my opinion. Now, I still love my classic country.
Right, right.
Just between you and I'm not a big fan of what they're calling country music today.
The new country
but
in this time, right.
I'm from the old school. And
it's the overall package. It's the formula. Does the formula work? Yeah. It works.
And
That's why I repeat it.
For the folks
it works.
that are enjoying it today. But to me, it would never. But anyway, we're getting off the subject here. But one thing that bluegrass is doing today is they're going back and taking the classic country classics,
right,
and making bluegrass tunes
out of the
songs.
tunes,
and that's combining the best of two worlds.
Right. Kind of, if you could walk out of here. I mean, it really is. It's true. I mean, there's pictures everywhere you look. It looks like there's newspapers from. I guess that's from the actual.
That was back in the years when the station first opened.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where those papers came from, but that was the old Crew Chronicle before the Crew Chronicle later became the Crew Burkeville Journal. But that was those papers tell the story of how this radio station started, how it went. And picture here of Jody Rainwater.
Speaking of Jody, there we go.
At one time, 1 week back when Jody was here, he received 4,000 cards and letters in 1 week.
Whoa, and there's just a few of them, it looks like.
Just a few of them there. And we were at 1,000 watts. That picture was taken before I came along. I worked here as a kid back in 58 to 61, and Jody was still here.
Oh, okay.
And at that time, we were at 1,000 watts here at Wsvs on AM. Today, we're at 10,000 watts.
Oh, pretty powerful for an AM station, I would
yes,
think.
it is. It will be the third strongest radio station in Virginia.
Okay.
And But the point I was going to make is, at that time, back when Jody was here, we covered probably as much or more area with that 1,000 watts as we do with 10,000 today. And there's a lot of reasons for it, a lot more things in the atmosphere.
Oh, sure. You kind of get around on that.
But Jody, as you can see in that picture there, he got cards and letters and phone calls from everywhere, and he was an icon. And no matter where we go today, out of state, anywhere, and people find out that we're from Wsvs Radio in Crewe, Virginia, that's where Jody Redwater.
Sure.
I mean, I'm talking about young people.
Right.
They all know Jody Redwater and knew that he was here.
Right. Now, let's see, you've been here at the station for how long?
Well, I worked here in 1958 to 61, first time as a kid.
Okay.
My first job here was cutting the grass.
Okay.
And I was a high school kid, and they needed somebody to work weekends, and so I did that for 58 to 61 and went off. I was gone from this area for 31 years.
Oh, okay.
Then I came back here in 2001, and they found out I was back in the area. Came looking
Snatch
for
you
me.
back up again,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm back where I started 50-some years ago. So.
We're going there.
Yeah, but it's still the same place. We're very proud of what the state radio station stands for.
Well, it really, yeah, it is. I was going to say, preserving Americana, and radio is certainly a very, very large part of that. Let's see, I see another staff member there, I do believe. Let's see, as we mosey into...
I'm sneaking in.
Sneaking in here. Sneaky Pete. Well, no, it's not Sneaky Pete, but it is.
He has to sneak in because if we see him coming, we won't let him come in.
That's understandable.
They run and lock the doors. And
Or-
I don't have a key.
Or they chuck him somewhere, right? This is Chuck.
Yes,
What's
it
your
is.
last name?
Hammer.
Hammer.
Just like
Oh,
the
just
other
like Hammer.
That's
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, Chuck, tell us what's your involvement with the station.
Well, I do mornings, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 9. Play a lot of music.
Okay.
It's music intensive. Of course, we get the local news,
Right.
weather, time checks, because that time of day, people
Sure.
are getting up and getting ready to go to work, and they want to know how to dress.
Right.
Not necessarily this time of year, but they want to know how to dress and what to expect, whether to take that umbrella or leave it at home, or those kind of things. And I try and play the music that gets you up and gets you moving.
Right. Now, after your show, I think, 9 o'clock, Mr. Wynn, they do actually a trading show, right?
Buy,
Yes,
sell,
sir.
and trade, yeah.
Yep.
Buy, sell, and
It is.
trade, which is goes
Coffee
back to
shop.
that kind of that servicing Southside Virginia SVS thing, I guess.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it's a great thing.
Believe it or not, this station, and Mel, you correct me if I'm wrong, this station was the first one to have a show.
Yes, it was the
Like
Coffee
that.
Chat's the original buy, sell, trade show, and I don't remember who started. I know Steve Wynn is who we're talking about hosting the show.
Yes.
Right.
And I don't remember who was the first host. Now that I'm
I don't
thinking
either.
about it.
I don't either.
But, Steve's been doing it a long time, and he is Mr. Coffee Chat.
Yes, he is. That he is. And Steve does a wonderful job with that. And he knows everybody.
Right.
And,
Well, I think the idea of this little tour, this little look through, is so much of radio now is seamless, and it's sightless, and it's touchless, and it's just programmed computers, and there's very little behind it within that now.
we're just a bunch of guys having a good time.
There you go. What do you got?
We, people that listen to our radio station, most of them, that's it. They duct tape their radio dial. Yes, because we're the only game in town that's doing what we do. And a lot of our listeners listen to our station from sun up till sundown, and we are part, as personalities here, a part of their families.
Sure.
They feel like they know us. Had people say, hey, you sound much taller on now that I see you.
Well, and of course, via what we're on now with the internet, you've got a worldwide audience.
Yes, sir.
And the worldwide for country, and especially, I think, older, traditional, more traditional, line traditional, even 60s, 70s, 80s, compared to what you have now. There's definitely a hunger for that. There's
Talking about traditional or classic country, whatever you want to call